I want to go now to Scott MacFarlane, who has just come out from inside the courthouse. He has new information. Scott?
Moments ago, through his attorney Todd Blanche, former President Trump pleaded not guilty to these 37 federal charges. And Todd Blanche, in fact, said the former president is, quote, most certainly pleading not guilty. The former president sat, navy blue suit, red tie, hunched over at the table, his hands folded at first, then his arms folded, expressionless, not saying a word. It was his defense attorney who stood and said he's not guilty to these charges. The proceedings are ongoing. They're going to talk about release conditions. They're going to talk about future scheduling, the dates of the next hearings. But before the hearing began, the former president was booked. He was processed. Digital fingerprints taken. No booking photo. The marshals deemed it unnecessary. They think there's enough photos of Donald Trump out there to use for the purposes of his prosecution. There's an ongoing proceeding, Nora, that'll take about 4 or 5 more minutes, and ultimately the former president's expected to leave soon after.
Describe the atmosphere, Scott. What was it like?
A packed courtroom, in a rather large courtroom on the 13th floor of this federal courthouse in Miami. The former president had all of his attorneys in a row at the table. It's Todd Blanche out of New York. It's a man named Chris Kise, an attorney out of Florida, or who is now certified to represent him here in the Southern District of Florida. His co-defendant, Walt Nada, sat at the same table with his attorney. They're all together at the same table. We noted the judge, Jonathan Goodman, who is handling this case just for one day here in Miami, before handing it off to a district judge, referred to Donald Trump multiple times in court as former President Trump, not as the defendant, not as Mr. Trump, not as Trump, but as former President Trump. It's a beautiful courtroom. Chestnut wood walls about the size of a small school cafeteria, royal blue carpet. The former president had a stack of papers in front of him at the defense table, but no pen, wasn't writing, wasn't talking, just sat expressionless, kind of hunched over, hands on the table, then arms folded. His attorney, Todd Blanche, was occasionally whispering things in his ear, but this was a moment the former president knew was happening outside the view of cameras. The federal courthouse is a ban on cameras. He is largely operating and acting invisibly in this courtroom. The judge, Jonathan Goodman, gavelled this into session right on time, right about 3 o'clock here on the East Coast. It should be over in short order.
So, Scott, Donald Trump has been inside this federal courthouse for more than an hour now. What's been happening? What do you expect has to be done before he leaves?
Well, they booked him in the courthouse itself. What CBS News has been told from law enforcement officials is that they booked him here in an office space inside the courthouse, either out of convenience due to the significant security in and outside the courthouse, or potentially for everybody's safety. Oftentimes in this district of Florida, they'll book you in a different building and bring you from the courthouse over to there. They did it right in an empty office space inside the courthouse. He arrived, according to the marshals, about an hour in advance of getting into the courtroom. They took those fingerprints. They took his social security number, his birth date, all the things you get from a criminal defendant for the booking process. As I mentioned earlier, no booking photo in this case, but Donald Trump has an official case number. It's 23-CR80101. Quite a thing for a former president to have a federal criminal case number. He has been assigned a pretrial services officer. This is all uncharted waters, all history in the making here at the federal courthouse in Miami. We expect to hear before the proceeding ends, likely in the coming minutes, what release conditions have been ordered for the former president. What restrictions will he be under now that he's a federal criminal defendant? And likely we'll get a sense of the calendar, at least the next steps in the calendar. Is the next hearing going to be scheduled in a matter of weeks, in a matter of months? And will this case, which was earmarked for West Palm Beach, Florida, the courthouse nearest Mar-a-Lago, actually remain here in Miami? This is a huge, cavernous courthouse that has, I think some people would argue, the security footprint necessary for court hearings and potentially a trial of a former president. It will most certainly be an attraction.
And did we hear from the special counsel, Jack Smith, at all?
We spotted Jack Smith in the front row in one of the wooden benches. The courtroom had 2 pairs of 5-row deep benches for spectators, and it was filled to the brim today. Jack Smith sitting directly behind the special counsel attorney who was presenting this case. That special counsel staffer is named David Harbach. There's another special counsel prosecutor there, an investigator named Jay Bratt. And we go left to right at the defense table. If you're the judge facing the courtroom, at the far left is a man named Stanley Woodward. He's the defense attorney representing Trump's co-defendant, Walt Nauta. Nauta is next to Woodward. Next to Nauta at the defense table was Todd Blanche, the New York City-based defense attorney for Donald Trump, who's also representing him in that Manhattan prosecution. Then there's Donald Trump, navy suit, red tie, papers in front of him, hands folded, saying nothing. On the far right of that table is the other attorney, Chris Kise. At the prosecution, or the special counsel table, you had David Harbach, the special counsel staffer who spoke today, and Jay Bratt. The rows behind the special counsel table included the special counsel himself, Jack Smith, and a number of media members. Behind the defense table, a whole series of media members, and several members of the public who won a lottery to get a seat in the courthouse and in the courtroom for this unique, historic day.
Jeff Begaze is here as well, and I know has some questions for you, Scott.
Scott, we know how much Scott loves courtrooms. He was in the courtroom for the Manhattan case as well. And so I was wondering if you could contrast and compare in terms of the former president's demeanor. How did he look today? What was his demeanor, especially if you compare it to the video that we saw at the arraignment in New York City in early April?
Identical, Jeff. Same mannerism, same body language, same expression on his face. And we had an advantage of perspective today. We were in the overflow room where there was a video feed giving us a head-on picture of Donald Trump. Those in the courtroom only saw the back of his head. We could see his face. We could see his expression. The overflow room is actually the jury meeting room here with 300 seats and a few tiny televisions, so small, the kind of televisions you get in a low-cost hotel room. We watched this on TV and through a feed, and we could see, even through the grainy picture, Donald Trump sitting, no expression, nothing to say, idle at the table with his hands folded.
So, Scott, we know South Florida has a reputation of being one of those areas where court cases move quickly through the system. What do you expect in terms of the progress of this case? Is this something, because we know prosecutors want a speedy trial, do you think they'll get what they want?
Jack Smith has already articulated that. He said so much during his news conference last week that he is going to seek a speedy trial. You're right. This is one of those districts in America, the Southern District of Florida, which is known as a rocket docket, a place where cases move expediently compared to other federal courts in America. But so much of this is going to be up to the parties. Does the defense choose to slow this down? Does the defense choose to file motions to potentially delay things or make this case move more sluggishly? That's going to be in the hands of the parties, but this case is still earmarked for Judge Eileen Cannon. We learned that today in the arraignment. Judge Cannon, based in Fort Pierce, Florida, a ways to the north of here. She, of course, was a Trump appointee. You may recall her name. She was the judge who oversaw litigation and challenges to the search warrant last year. She has this case, at least for now, and some of the timing could ultimately be up to her.
All right, Scott MacFarlane, who has just come from inside the courthouse with that detailed account of not only the mahogany and blue curtains, but also the former president and his legal team sitting next to his valet, Walt Nauta, and what's happening inside, as well as the special counsel in this historic arraignment as the former president of the United States has been booked and is now facing 37 federal counts. Scott MacFarlane, thank you so much.